Hello, my gorgeous sister. Welcome to a little bit of a drop in, an orientation on how to experience our ceremony calls here in the Soul Portal membership. I wanted to record this little behind the scenes tutorial for all of you guys because I know from my experience walking into spiritual set and settings can feel a little bit unfamiliar, a little bit uncomfortable. And we always have really big intentions when we come into this work and we want to have a really great experience. So I thought it would be best to record a little bit of an intro for you to explain the structure of our ceremony containers, how they work, what they look like, and how you can make the most out of your own personal experience. So I'm coming to you live in this little beautiful corner of my home. This is a ceremony corner of my house where I do a lot of rituals for myself. Obviously, I do a lot of coaching calls here, and this is kind of the hub where I connect and I serve and I give back to the community. So there's a lot of really potent energy here, and I want to start by just presencing that to say that when you have your experiences with our ceremony containers, it's really quite important to pick environments that feel really supportive to you. There are some tutorials in our bonus section that talk about creating an altar and having a Zen space and how to create a set and setting that feels quite spiritual for yourself. It's a really, really great practice. And the environment in which you experience these calls does have a really, really big impact on your experience. So that's the first thing I just want to share. What is ceremony? Let's just talk about this because this word is thrown around a lot. It's a word that has a lot of different connotations and meanings. This particular experience that we are going to embark on is a combination of meditation, prayer, connection to your higher self. We combine practices from different traditions of medicine work that I've been studying in my own personal healing journey, and we bring them together in a container for you to have a healing process in your home. So I like to tell people that ceremony is a time for you to connect with yourself. It's an opportunity for you to develop self-love, for you to build an intimate relationship with who you are, what's important to you, and to also hold space to let go of a lot of the stress and anxiety and the tension that we tend to carry from day to day in our lives. I myself practice at home ceremony work pretty frequently, and it's a really beautiful tool to clear what no longer serves you, to call in the things that you really want in your life. And that's what we're really all here to do, right? It's to call in that next level version of us, that next level of abundance, that next level of confidence. So whatever brought you here to do this work, to join the soul portal, to develop yourself, these ceremonies are the opportunity where you can go deep into that process in connecting to your highest person, your highest version of who you are. Now, a couple of things to mention. These ceremony containers are not religious by any means. We don't follow any particular dogma or any type of religious structure. That being said, whatever religion you particularly associate with, if you do, is beautiful and it's welcome here. And I invite you to connect to that deep relationship that you have when you're doing this work. For some people, we come to ceremony style healing because maybe we haven't found the connection that we're really looking for and we're wanting to go deeper. And for you, if that's some place that you are and you resonate with that, I invite you to use the words like source or universe or higher self when you're connecting to something bigger than you. And that's really what this work is. In Ceremony Container, we're connecting to something bigger than us in our meditation, in our prayer, in our mind's eye, in our sensations within our body. And that something bigger than you may be the highest version of you that you're calling in. It may be your connection to God or the universe or divine oneness, whatever you feel is resonant. For me, I connect to the divine frequency of love. That's what I'm always focused on. And so if that resonates with you, you're more than welcome to take that into your practice as well. But in ceremony, we're connecting to that higher essence. And then we're also connecting within ourselves, the parts of us that we feel like maybe are blocked or stuck or resistant and maybe holding us back. Maybe there are parts of your inner child that need to be visited, or parts of your childhood that haven't really come into a healed relationship yet. A lot of those things can come up during ceremony work. And it's important I mention that because in healing containers, what's coming up is coming up to be released. So please keep that in mind. You don't have to re-traumatize yourself. You don't need to relive traumatic experiences. But if there are emotions that are coming through in your ceremony experience, it's really important to remember that what's coming up is to be released. It's something I'm letting go of that no longer serves me. So, on a surface level explanation, what is ceremony? Ceremony is about an hour long, and it is a time where we connect into a meditative state and we receive. And so in this time of receiving, you will be receiving guided meditation. You will be receiving instruction on how to breathe. You may be being given the gift of just like being told to sit down and relax and open your heart and just explore what's in there while I play music for you. So this is really not a time for you to be doing anything. It's more of a time for you to surrender, let go, and just receive what's coming through. Many people fall asleep during ceremony experiences. Many people report seeing visions, having sensations in their body, feeling really, really, really relaxed. This is a really great practice to regulate the nervous system. So if you tend to exist kind of on that more anxiety side spectrum of life, coming to ceremony routinely and making this a part of your practice is really, really helpful. So let's talk about some of the modalities that we're going to be bringing into this work. In our time together, we will be going through meditation, breath, body movement, sound expression, and receiving, okay? So all of these things will be guided and instructed throughout each ceremony container. Every ceremony is different, but generally speaking, those are the modalities we are working with. I invite you to bring a journal so that if something is coming through that you really need to write down, you have that available and present with you so that right after your meditative state, you can write down the things that you want to remember, because a lot of breakthroughs can come through during our time together. So, how to make the most out of a ceremony experience? I get asked this question a lot. I have been on all sides of ceremony spectrum, whether I was in a place of doing plant medicine work or plant medicine facilitation, or I was receiving, or I was in a breath ceremony or a sound circle or a sound bath healing. All of these experiences that I've had, I've kind of learned that there are some key points to having an effective experience. The first thing is focus on your heart and being present. This is an important study that not a lot of people have in this lifetime. Very few humans are operating in a present state in this reality that we are living in right now. So it's really hard to shelf all of the things that are going on to just lay down and listen to a meditation for an hour. It can feel like a really difficult process. So I always tell people, don't try to fix anything. Don't try to work. Just lay down and focus on your heart. And anytime you get distracted with thoughts of things to do or stuff you have to get done, tasks, etc., just come back into that heart. Take a deep breath into the body and bring yourself back into your heart. So that's the first thing. Don't work so hard. Receive and come into the heart. And that's when all of the lessons start to come through. That's when the breakthroughs start to show themselves. And that's where we can really step into a higher frequency. The other thing that's really important is that if those sensations, as I mentioned before, do come up where you're feeling a lot of anxiety, or you're feeling a sadness or a grief or some type of pain that really needs to be released, one of the greatest things we can do is breathe it out, okay? Again, focusing on the breath and the power of breath when things are coming out. Don't suppress them. Don't stifle them down. Don't try to push them down into your body again. We're here to pull things out, okay? So if things are coming up that need to be released, let them. And that can look like shaking the body, that can look like crying, yawning, screaming, stretching, anything that feels like it's helping you get it out. I invite you to participate in those practices in our time together. Most importantly, remember your breath. Anytime you're uncomfortable, call on that power of your breath to just breathe. Okay. Another way we can really set ourselves up for success is by letting the people in our life know what we are doing. I have made the mistake in the early days of my at-home ceremony work of just like dropping myself into a meditation and then having my husband not realize that and come into the room to ask me a bunch of questions. I really call on support whenever I'm setting a container for myself, and I want you to do the same for yourself as well. So please, 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 like tell the people in your life, the people who you share a home with, whoever's in your environment, hey, I'm going to go do this thing. It's going to be a little bit. Can you please just keep it down? Okay. Now let's talk about tools. I am going to be guiding you through some practices, and we're going to be doing these things together. So you don't have to bring anything to the ceremony experience. You can literally receive this whole experience on your bed, just relaxing and just listening, and you'll receive the transmission of everything that's present. But if you want to participate in some of the activities, I wanted to hold space to share with you some of the things that you can bring so that you can do the rituals with us when we are experiencing them. So the first is a candle. Okay, there's going to be a point in our time together where we're going to open up our space with a special candle lighting. So don't light that candle when you come, bring that candle with you. We're going to hold our intentions into that candle together. We're going to light that sacred candle, and you can let that candle burn for the entire time of our ceremony together. You can let it burn all the way straight through so that that prayer that you're holding really manifests into fruition. Or you can do what I like to do. I save a special candle that I only use for my personal ceremony work. And it's really sacred. I feel all the prayers and intentions coming through. And if that's something you're going to do, you can just blow out the candle when you feel like your ceremony is complete. So bring a candle, bring a lighter or some matches if you have. The next thing that we're going to be working with is plant medicine. So a couple of things about this. Plant medicine exists in how we receive plant medicine in many different ways. We receive the smoke and the wind of a particular plant. That is a way to receive its potent power of support and healing. We also receive the smell of a plant. Maybe you've been working with essential oils, so you understand the power of smell and aroma. We also work with plant medicine in a digestible fashion where we consume the plant. So this is often referred to as like maybe ayahuasca or mushrooms, if you've ever heard of people dabbling in the psychedelic realm. But plant medicine is not just psychedelic. There's also cacao. There's also cannabis, right? These are medicines that can be utilized during our time together. So I just want to presence that and say that if you would like to drop in with medicine that you work with in your own fashion, whether that's your aromas and your oils, or that's your relationship to cannabis, if that's your healthy relationship to tobacco, whatever it may be, I invite you to connect to that plant and bring that plant into your container. The other way we're going to be working with plants is smoke medicine. So that is where I will light Palo Santo or sage or lavender or sweetgrass, and we're going to do that as a group at a particular time to cleanse our space. So you're more than welcome to bring any particular smoke medicine that you resonate with. I've been working a lot with Palo Santo lately from Peru. I brought a bunch back from my last trip, and I also work with a feather fan. So this is a tiny little feather fan that I made from goose feather. I have other feather fans in my home environment. You could see I'm a big advocate, connector. Like I love the feathers. They're just so powerful for me. And what we do when we're working with smoke medicine and we're working with a feather or a whole fan is we're moving that smoke energy around our space to protect and to clear. We clear our technology, we clear the room, we clear our hearts, we clear our bodies, our minds. And so we're going to be doing that all together in our container. And if you don't have those tools, I have some recommended resources on laurenoflove.com in the favorite section but you don't have to bring anything. Just know that we're going to be doing those things together, and you can receive that transmission of cleansing through our container and our time when we're doing that all. So bring it or don't bring it, entirely up to you. Another thing we're going to be working with is oracle cards. So each ceremony, I pull a spread for everybody. This is one of my favorite decks I've been working with. It's the Animal Apothecary, really, really potent. I also work with Rebecca Campbell's Rose Oracle deck. I love that deck for our ceremony work. And so during our time together, I'm going to call on an opportunity to pull some cards, and you are welcome to do that as well if you feel so called. You can also rely on my own card pull. So bring your own card deck or don't. It's okay. I'm going to be pulling and reading for you guys throughout our transmission of our time together. The other thing I invite you to bring is a headphone set and an eye mask. And that's because when you're in your process and you're going through your experience, you may want to lay down, put that mask over your eyes, have those headphones be just totally all-encompassing so you hear nothing but the sound, no distractions, and just allow yourself to be present. Now, some other tools that are really great to work with, I love creating my altar. You guys can go through the free bonus training inside of your soul portal if you want to learn how to create your own altar space for this work. I also work with a lot of Florida water. That's it's almost like a perfume that they use in Peru that's really beautiful for clearing. You can work with rose water spray if that's something that you feel really comfortable with. And besides that, the only thing that I would suggest bringing is a glass of water, because afterwards you're going to want to replenish, and an open heart, okay? Keep your heart open. Now, one final thing before we close, we're going to be guiding you through meditation, shamanic sound. I'm going to be using the sound bowls and shakers, rattles, drums. I will be singing at times, channeling guided meditation throughout our time together. And these things may bring up a lot of energy. That's the whole point. They may feel really healing to receive. They may bring up a lot of emotion. But regardless of what they're doing for you, the one thing I just like to say is that none of this is a performance. It's not here for you to go, oh, I'm going to listen to Lauren sing and I'm going to think she's a good singer or not a good singer. And what do I think? None of that is really what this is about. This is actually about channeling prayer through the voice, through the sound of these technologies to come in and support you in moving energy out of your body. So rather than observing, experience, come into your heart, relax, take deep breaths, and just know that every single experience you have in ceremony is always different, and it's always exactly what you need. So there's no need to question it, no need to overanalyze it. Just come with an open heart, come prepared, come ready, and I hope to see you on a live virtual call in our portal very soon. You can always go to the information section to see when the next ceremony is. And in the meantime, go and enjoy your course portal and get acclimated. There's going to be a ceremony in there for you to listen to on replay to receive all of the medicine of what's to come in our live events. So anyway, that's it.